So the Lion in Winter, the favourite, will be last in. He's in. They're all ready to go. Set and off and racing for the 2025 Basti Equiworld Dante Stakes, and they move across the far side of the Knavesmire. The Lion in Winter is taking a fierce hold in the early stages, and Ryan is trying to get him settled, as Devil's Advocate is the one that takes them through the first furlong and a half. Then Wimbledon Hawkeye on the outside, with Alpine Trail wider on the inside. Sea Scout, and now the Lion in Winter has just dropped the bridle a touch and races just ahead of Pride of Arras, who races on the rail. The white face and pulling is Damysus on the outside then of Tuscan Hills. Royal Playwright next, with Nightwalker, the grey Frankel, with the white face ahead of Mr. Riz, who brings up the rear and is about 8 lengths off the pace as they move past the 7 furlong barrier on the far side. So Devil's Advocate and Benoit de la Sayat cutting out the Dante pace here from Alpine Trail, unbeaten in 3, racing in second. Sea Scout is in third, ahead of Wimbledon Hawkeye. Pride of Arras is in fifth. The Lion in Winter in the orange and blue colours is in sixth as they move down past the halfway point of the race. Tuscan Hills on the rail, purple jacket ahead of Damysus, Nightwalker, Royal Playwright and Mr. Riz. The only one that's not engaged at Epsom is sharing last place with Royal Playwright as they come down the home straight, passing the 4 furlong marker now. Running free on the front end here then, Devil's Advocate leading by 2. Alpine Trail is ready to pick up the baton when he wants. Sea Scout on the inside. Wimbledon Hawkeye is followed through then by the Lion in Winter. Ryan is travelling strongly and is now just poised to strike on the outside as they race up towards the final 2.5 furlongs in the Basti Equiworld Dubai Dante Stakes. Almost 5 in a line here for the advantage. Sea Scout, Alpine Trail, Wimbledon Hawkeye. The Lion in Winter is coming under a drive and the response isn't that immediate. Damysus is taking off. Up the inside is Pride of Arras, who's shown a sparkling turn of foot, and it's Pride of Arras in front in the Dante as they race inside the final furlong. This exciting colt under Rossa Ryan is going to win it in style. Damysus in second, Wimbledon Hawkeye, Devil's Advocate, then Nightwalker. The Lion in Winter only beat 2 or 3 home here in a major upset.
Pride of Arras, lightly raced, only 1 start last year, has won the Dante, trained by this man, Ralph Beckett. Wow, that was mighty, mighty impressive. Well done.
It was. You know, it hasn't had an easy prep. Hasn't been very easy with him. You know, he had a complicated time of it as well last autumn. So, and you know, we had a few just needing it as well. You know, Doha half an hour ago, etc. So, you know, very pleased, very pleased.
Coming here today, what was your thoughts? What were you hoping?
I was hoping he was going to run well, full stop. And whether that meant he finished 5th or 3rd or even 1st was kind of irrelevant. You know, we needed him to run well, and he's done more than that.
Looking at him before and first time I've seen him, he looks really laid back and he gives himself every chance
to
be good.
He's
Is
not.
He not? No.
But he was today.
He's around 5-1 for a Derby now. How exciting is that?
Is it? Well, very.
You clearly expect that he'll take a big step forward, fitness and mentally?
He will. Yeah. He will. He'll take a big step forward today, so we can be sure of that.
And by New Bay, they just seem to improve and improve,
Absolutely.
don't they?
Yeah, he's been a very lucky stallion for us. And, you know, it's great for Mrs. Aykroyd, who, you know, I trained for all of my 25 years training.
I might just have a superstar.
Yep.
Well done.
Thanks.
Yeah, possibly could. Got a good way about him, great attitude, great mentality, and for a lovely bunch of owners as well. So yeah, things are coming together nicely. Thought we'd have a big hole to fill with blue stocking, but we definitely have one with potential anyways.
You won on him at Sandown. We haven't seen him since the 8th of August. What were you hoping coming here today?
But look, we were kind of treating it as it was nearly his first run again. Just drop him in the middle of them and let him learn. And to be fair, I travelled up so well, and I had 3 horses blocking me in, and I just thought I can sit and wait. I had loads underneath me, and to be fair, when I got out, he picked up and went away well. Didn't do a lot in front, but he'll come on from it a lot. Ours are needing to run, so I'd say we can probably step it up, like count it up a small bit more. So
mentally and physically, he'll come on.
I think so. His work was good at home, but again, some of ours have all been needing to run, so he's he's done everything right so far. We can only ask for that, so I'd be excited what's to come.
You've only had one ride in the Derby. You might go there this year with a real live chance.
Possibly. His family have known to be good around Epsom.
Yeah.
I've won his brother and sister around there, so look, he's got a good way about him. Good low centre of gravity, well composed, great mindset. He's got everything right and done everything right so far to suggest that we probably should take a punt at it. And we'll see. He's definitely a lovely horse going forward.
On his homework, were you surprised at all?
On his last year run Sandown, no. His homework's been good without being very flashy. He wouldn't be a flashy sort, but he's pleased us all the way.
Very well done.
Thank you.
Well, an unbeaten colt has won the Dante, but not the one that was expected or the one that was second most expected. It's Pride of Arras for Rossa Ryan and Ralph Beckett. He ran just the once, won impressively, overcame greenness at Sandown. This, a whole different order of race, and again he's burst through and shown some dominance. In second, Damysus has very much stepped up on his third in the classic trial of Kieran Schumacher and the Gosdens, and back in third is Wimbledon Hawkeye, running with credit yet again. His third start this season, enjoying the step up to 10 furlongs. He's third for Hector Crouch and James Owen. 18-1 Pride of Arras is returned, and he has announced himself on the big stage.
Yeah, really impressive on his only 2-year-old start list last year. Hard to really quantify that form ahead of today's race in the context of today's field, but he's clearly stepped forward markedly. It was a striking debut. This was a striking performance from him as well, and moreover, because he definitely looked like there was a bit to work with still. I think physically, I think he'll improve for the run. So that's all the more noteworthy. I think that this was his comeback run for the season. Horse carrying a little bit of condition, should improve physically as we go through the year, and he's still been good enough to win and beat horses that came into it well ahead of him on the form book.
What an exciting horse this is. We can take the early stages of the race. It'll be great to hear from Rossa Ryan and Ralph Beckett shortly. Stall 10, fly jumping at the start, and that's Mr. Riz. And in the early stages as well, we have the Lion in Winter just pulling for his head. He'd got a little bit worked up behind the stalls. He started to sweat quite freely. He was the last to go in, and he's really fighting Ryan Moore in the early stages.
He is, and it takes a while for Ryan to get him back. He has to sort of take him a position further back. William Buick moves on the outside on Alpine Trail, and eventually he does drop his head and he does relax through the race. Now, maybe that slightly sort of fiery nature beforehand, demeanour beforehand, sorry, and the early fierceness through the race as well is because he is a very fresh horse. He hasn't been sort of overcooked at home ahead of today, which was the feeling and the impression you got from the word from Ballydoyle coming into it. And he's kind of raced like that as well, hasn't he? So I don't think we can give up on the Lion in Winter because of today.
I agree with that, but I'm also looking at how much talent this twice race winner has.
Oh yeah.
Rossa Ryan exploring a run through on the right, then switching left, shouldering his way through, bursting clear, and seeing this out against a horse that has definitely stepped up on his seasonal debut and is a strong stayer. This is a really talented colt.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, it's exactly what you want from the Dante. You know, he's produced a performance that puts him right in the Derby picture. Damysus himself has put himself in the picture a little bit as well, the runner-up, because he's run a big race and he's run like he wants a 1.5 miles to me. So he's a likely improver for the 1.5 mile trip.
But you think this horse would stay as well. He's by New Bay, but the Dam side of the family, they get a 1.5 miles.
Yes.
He's 5-1 with the sponsors Betfred, from 50-1. 5-1 with Unibet as well. 4-1 from Sky Bet. They're impressed. I'm impressed. Are you impressed?
I'm impressed, yeah, but I wouldn't be negative on the runner-up for Epsom either. I think he's a really nice horse who might improve quite significantly again for another run and an extra couple of furlongs. Wimbledon Hawkeye gives you a little bit more context to the form.
Well, on this day last year...
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.